All right, let me quickly come and correct the Starbucks numbers that we were confusing here. Actually, a profit per share, still a miss of 3 cents. Starbucks coming out with an X items fourth quarter profit per share of 10 cents. Analysts, though, were looking for 13. So still a miss, but not the loss that we had originally flashed there. Let me go and talk to somebody about this right now. Emily Sanders standing by. She's the president and CEO of Sanders Financial Management, which holds Starbucks shares. And Emily, a profit of 10 cents a share, missing analyst estimates, I should say, by 3 cents. Also, we're looking at the revenue that's a little bit light. What do you think about these earnings? Are you disappointed?
Well, it is disappointing, Matt, but it's not surprising given that consumer spending sharply slowed in October and November. So given all that, we're not surprised, but it is disappointing to see earnings down more than 40% from the same quarter 1 year ago.
Are you thinking that same-store sales are going to have bottomed out here? The CEO has suggested that, and everyone's waiting for maybe a big coffee stimulus.
Well, he's a terrific CEO, and we have a lot of faith in Howard Schultz. However, the economy is not cooperating, and even the international markets, which have been, the mainstay of the growth engine for Starbucks, are slowing due to the global recession. So they're really fighting an uphill battle. The election day free cup of coffee was great, but in and of itself, that's not going to turn around the battleship.
All right, Emily, if I could ask you just to hold on for a second. We're going to take a quick break for a commercial. We will come back and talk more with Emily Sanders of Sanders Financial Management. Let me also give a shout-out to Scott Wren. We didn't get back to him, but thank you so much to Wachovia's Scott Wren. We will also talk about oil prices when we come back, tumbling over the past few months, and so have the shares of the companies that pump it. So what might be in store for the smaller drillers? We'll talk about that later. All right, coming back to us on the phone right now, Emily Sanders, President and CEO of Sanders Financial Management, which holds Starbucks shares. And Emily, I wonder what would make you add to your holdings of Starbucks shares. What do you have to see as far as a turnaround for the company? Is it really all about the economy?
Well, Matt, Starbucks used to be one of our largest positions for clients, and we very much like the company, but the stock is hurting. The restructuring charges that were announced were definitely necessary and probably clear the decks a little bit for an uptrend when the economy starts to improve. However, we are noticing that free cash flow per share is lower than usual, so we'd look for a turnaround in the free cash flow per share before adding to our position.
Emily, this is Scarlett from the New York newsroom. Starbucks also saying it plans to open about 700 net new stores in fiscal 2009, many of them in overseas markets. Talk to us about Starbucks' international plans. It still relies mainly on the U.S. market for most of its sales.
Yes, it does, but the international sales are growing at a much faster clip than within the U.S. And I liken Starbucks to where Coca-Cola was after World War II when it expanded in Europe, giving Coke to the GIs. Starbucks is a very well-known global brand, and it has tremendous potential to become another Coca-Cola one day. It just has had a hiccup, a very big hiccup, after a very exciting 15 years or more since going public. And now it's leveling off, and we'll have to consolidate before heading its path upward.
Hey, Emily, is there a problem, though, with the image? Because I'm not a coffee drinker myself, so I don't know about the prices, but I think about Starbucks coffee as expensive, especially compared to what I would imagine McDonald's, for example, or Dunkin' Donuts charges for a cup of coffee.
Yes, well, McDonald's and Dunkin' Donuts certainly have given Starbucks a run for their money, but they are focusing more on the baristas, and they are renewing focus on improving traffic to existing stores with sandwiches and other breakfast items, healthy breakfast items, which would appeal to people other than coffee drinkers. And Starbucks is still a hangout for people with their laptops and small business people having meetings. So that's not going to change. Starbucks has a good global image, terrific brand recognition, and with Howard Schultz back at the helm, there will be a turnaround. The question is when.
All right, Emily, thanks so much for joining us today. Emily Sanders there, President and CEO of Sanders Financial Management.